Hello, dear viewer. Welcome once again to the Talent Table, the premier sports show. And this is our second show, and we are humbled and happy to have a great team from IPS. IPS, that is Intercounties Progressive Society, an organization, and they will tell us what they do. And we are happy. Last time we were with Wakili, and we had a lot from Wakili MBURU and what he does. Karibu sana bwana Wakili.
Thank you very much.
We are also happy to have anajita mkulima Devi, just like our producer. So we'll get to hear more about what they are doing, wanasaidiaje na nini Kenya wanafanya, inakuhusuaje wewe kama mtazamaji wetu, na nini unaweza chukua kutoka hapo, ni aje itakusaidia, and how can it help to improve our society. So remember always, as we say here, the Talent Table and the Breakdown Show, we are here to bring you expert insight and very objective discussion to see how we can rally for change, for support, and to bring a change in our society and in our community. So karibuni sana our expert.
Asante sana
Bwana Wakili, karibu sana. Watu wanajua wanakujua sana Wakili MBURU, lakini pia unaweza waambia wanaweza kupata wapi, wewe ni nani, unawakilishaje IPS? Karibu.
Asante sana Mr. D for inviting us this afternoon. As you have said, my name is Wakili MACHUA. I wear many hats, over and above kuwa wakili for many years, over 20 years. I'm also a Rotarian. Rotary is a great organization which was founded in America in 1905 to more than 200 countries. We have a membership of about 2.4 million.
Yeah.
Over and above that, pia niko kwa media. I've been in Inoro TV kwa the last 11 years. Kuna program nafundisha inaitwa Menya Kehoto Yaku. That is Know Your Rights. This program we've been teaching community their basic legal knowledge. I'm also in Kameme. I've been in Kameme for the last 10 years. Teaching just like what the Bible says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. I believe as a lawyer, it is important we teach our communities basic legal knowledge. I'm also the founder and president of an organization, a society called Intercounties Progressive Society. Yeah. Intercounties Progressive Society, in short IPS, was founded in 2014. We've been doing a lot of community work vile tutaongelea hapa, kusaidia ulimwengu, because when we are brought in this world by God, it is incumbent of us to give back to the community. Pia kufikiria mambo ya legacy. How do you want to be remembered in this world? When God blesses you with good education, there's some networks, opportunities is always fair and reasonable you share with the community. We'll be talking about what we do at IPS, zile mambo tunafanya. Pia nimekuja na mwenzangu, is particularly in agriculture, organic farming sector. He promotes a lot na atatuambia mambo ya urban farming. Since 2018, the parliament passed what we call Urban Farming Act. Before that, ungeonekana ukifanya mambo ya ukulima Nairobi and other urban areas ilikuwa an offense. Now it is no longer, so he has been doing a lot in that atatuelezea. Thank you.
And it seems uko na a lot of expertise pia Wakili amekambua hiyo. Karibu sana bwana David.
Sure.
How are you, before you will tell us who you are and what you do, and how are you in IPS?
So thank you Mr. D. Kwa majina naitwa David Watiri. Mimi ni green champion, and also I'm a founder of Easy Urban Green Grower. It's a business model. So I'm a sole proprietor and agripreneur. So far so good. I've been in the agriculture industry since 2017 after I completed my high school. And from that, sikufanya agriculture in high school, I did business. But from what I saw, what my friend used to do in the agriculture project, nilipenda ukulima sana. Na for high school I continued with that, and then until now I have a certificate on horticulture production. So I'm a qualified farmer, but The challenge is that niko tao, so tao hakuna mashamba. So there was this challenge of being creative on what you are doing. Creativity and innovation is what I've been trying to focus on since we have limited space in urban areas. So we have been trying to come up with the best way of producing more vegetables in a small piece of land. One of the activity tumekuwa tukifanya ni corn gardens, which is a multi-story garden, and a hydroponic garden, which is a soilless farming, and we have tower gardens and also sack gardens, container gardens, hanging gardens. Those small things we are doing, they help to increase production, at least even at household level. Because when you have some hanging gardens at household level, like in the ghorofa pale kwa balcony, you can have your containers there with some onions and you not buy onions again. So those are the small steps I've been doing. And at FAR I came to meet Mr. Wakili in 2020 at MBURU Primary School, where I started to do the activities in schools. And from that, I have been able to learn a lot from him. And up to now, tuko pamoja. And that's how I came to meet him and introduced me to his farm in Kantafu, where now we are having a model farm, IPS farm. And want to have a lot of things to do. The smart farming in terms of corn gardens, in terms of azolla farming, in terms of BSF farming, vermiculture, poultry, and also goat rearing. It's the thing we are starting now. We are almost 3 months old to the farm, but whatever we have done so far is a marvelous job. You can come and see, and you'll be able to learn and try to do it on yourself, on your small space we're having.
Like, so you are an expert farmer.
Yeah, I'm the expert farmer, meaning mkulima.
Nice. And also, umesema you're a founder. I didn't know I am sitting at the middle of two founders. You're a founder
of Easy Urban Green Grower.
Yeah.
Of which I started Easy Urban Green Grower early 2020. I came to register in 2022 August. 1st of August is when I registered my small company. And this is because I've been working also with groups, but groups has a lot of dynamics. You want to fly, but others want to cross. So I went that way. I designed a sole proprietor thing because I want to fly. And when people don't want to fly with you, just fly alone.
Yeah. Na naona ni kama ulipata Wakili pia akipepea, that's why you are in the same team. Wakili waambio. When you are saying you started IPS 11 years ago in 2014.
Yes.
Yeah. So IPS basically ni nini inafanya? Najua watu wengi wanakujua, wamekuona, and maybe some have heard of IPS. What is the main work of IPS as an organization?
Good question. IPS, we came with a holistic approach to the community issues.
Yeah.
We realized that we cannot leave everything to the government, national government, county government. This the during Kibaki's time whenever maziwa ikimwagika anasema serikali saidia, mtoto akilia serikali saidia. We request Kenyans and through IPS we need to come together and handle our issues. Most of the developed countries, you find that the NGO, the civil society, they are very elaborate. They do a lot of, they are able to challenge the governments. And this is how we should be as a country, not just matters politics, because I see most of the civil society in Kenya, they are basically basically in politics. So IPS, we do a number of programs, which I will be able to explain. Number one, we do holistic approach to education. We are looking about education. There are a lot of programs we are doing in schools, from ECD, primary schools, secondary schools, tertiary colleges, all the way to the universities. At IPS, we strongly believe that the best inheritance we can give our children is what we call holistic education. We no longer have land. When I was growing up, at least you could get, if you don't get good education, you could get a portion of land from your parents. Land is shrinking, is getting smaller and smaller. So it's about education. And when you educate your child well, there are a lot of opportunities. That child can work locally, regionally, and globally. For example, when Somalia got chaos, the people who were educated were able to go to all over the world. If you go to America, like I went to one state and I found there are so many Somalians. The ones who are not educated, most of them, they died in the country. So when you educate your child, that child becomes a global citizen. So when I will be telling you about what you are doing in education. We have a model school concept, deciding how that concept looks like. The other thing which we do is environment. I'm sure our viewers, they appreciate about the global climate change. You are told now temperatures are there at 1.8%, and experts are saying the moment the temperatures reach 2%, there's no single human being or there's no life which will be able to exist in this world. So it is incumbent on us to approach environment. Again, wakati mwingi ukiongea mambo ya mazingira, people just think about tree planting there. For us at IPS, Intercounty Progressive Society, we are holistic, and we'll be able to talk about from starting the nursery, periodical tree planting, water harvesting, a holistic recycling for biodegradable plastic, papers, and grass. We are looking about renewable energy, for example, how we can use gas. Like now when you come to a farm, you see already we are using biogas. How you can use solar. Again, that's what we are using on at the farm. We also in some spaces like we are promoting geothermal, part of Northeast, and we are promoting wind energy. And also solar. Solar is God given.
Yeah.
I was in California, and also the many Rotarians in California are challenging us there. They are saying that in fact what we found, they are removing our sheets and replacing with water panels. And so when they do that, they do three things. Number one, they roof their houses. Number two, they harvest very clean water. And number three, they are able to have a sunshine. We're telling us because we're telling us because of winter, they are able to enjoy sunshine maybe in about 5-6 months. So they're saying a country like Kenya, which lies along the equator, and you still have some homes, particularly in rural setups whereby there is no electricity. So if we really utilize sunshine, which is God given, and we would every home would be lighting. We'll be having lighting and cooking with clean energy. Because what happens, like particularly in rural areas, they go and chop a tree, they destroy environment. That's tree also as firewood. It's also causing a lot of death and sickness because of the carbon dioxide. So we are trying to promote that clean energy.
Yeah.
And the other thing we are doing, of course, in environment is promoting cleaning our rivers. Our rivers are in a mess. I'm happy the president came with the Nairobi Rivers Commission. But I challenged the commission when they invited us as Rotary. We were telling them, it's not just Nairobi rivers which are in a mess. All the rivers in the country, whether you go to Kisumu, you go to Coast, you go to eastern part of everywhere. So we are trying to see how we can clean our rivers, and they also they can become economically viable. How the young people, Gen Z, can utilize those rivers as a way of making money. The other thing we are doing at the environment, we are doing a lot of awareness programs. Like now, we are promoting, when you are building, you do not have to use wood, but you don't have to cut a tree. We are promoting alternative building materials. You can use steel, which is much cheaper. You can use bamboo, which is much cheaper. You can use recycled plastic. You can use even glass. Other things which you are doing, because I do not want the details, is setting the model farms. I'll be explaining to you, and I hope you visit the farm to see what we are doing. This we are promoting. We want to ensure that each and every ward in Kenya, we have about 1,450 wards, is going to have what you'd call a model farm. Today, if you wanted to see a model farm, you have to travel all the way to Wabungu farm in Nyeri County. And again, because I was there a few months ago, again, they did not have much. So ours, we are setting it as one-stop, shop. You are able to see, like now we are hoping to have about 15 products, and already we have about 10 on the ground. And the other thing which we are doing, it's a sports holistic approach. I mean, what we call diversified sports. I always tell people, sports is the best thing career in 21st century. I get sad. I'm saddened when I see at the Olympics that Kenyans can only participate in TO sports, particularly in long distance running. But you're seeing young people from China, Russia, Japan, America, they are participating in that disciplines, and they are making money. When I was in school, when you went to a school, you could find this javelin, the shot put, discus, high jump, long jump, triple jump. I asked myself, where did this sports go? These are sports, and people are coming with gold. And when you get that gold at the Olympics, you're also coming as a millionaire. When you get that silver, You get that? So we are looking about even as we visit our school to see how we can broaden the sports. As a lawyer, we are also having a lot of problems with the issues of defilement, the issues of rape cases, the incest, sodomy cases. We also having an issue with the gender-based violence. We're having femicide, women being killed. So we are promoting what we call martial arts, for example, judo, karate, taekwondo, kung fu, kabaddi, boxing. And these sports, Mr. D, do not require much to start. So these are programs even in the farm, because we also work with some youth. We want to see how we can set a corner where the youth can come and participate in these sports. Other things we are doing is also talent, promoting talent. Talent is called given. For many years the white man says that if you're black, you are not beautiful or you're not handsome. Today we have Lupita Nyong'o, who is a millionaire in dollars. And Lupita Nyong'o, she's as dark as they come. I always ask, how many Lupita Nyong'os do we have in our wards, in our constituencies, in our counties, in the country? So at IPS, we are trying to identify the people, the talented, the young people, children, Gen Z. Then we identify them, we nurture them, then we market. When we had when I was in California, we had an online meeting with Lupita Nyong'o, and she was challenging us. That was 2019. So telling us we identify talent, we nurture, she helps us market that talent in USA and Europe. But when COVID happened, now the programs is like it is stopped. But now we are reviving the program. Other things we are doing is about nutrition and health. You can never be like what you are doing if you are not health. Even when you look about Vision 2030, which came with the Moi Kibaki government, health was one of the pillars. Even Uhuru government, health was one of the pillars. So we are looking about nutrition. What do you need to eat? Because again, we are having a lot of people getting some diseases which can be avoided if people eat what is right. So we are looking about even encouraging for people to exercise. When you go to this city, you see so many people who are obese, and this tells you this is a time bomb in this country. You also see a lot of fast food hotel restaurants coming up. So these are things which you are doing, and the major one is resource mobilization. We are looking at how do we look for resources locally, regionally, and globally. Because again, most of these projects which you are doing, we require for you to do it in a massive way, in an impactful way. You really require resources. Over and above that is the program which I also do in the media, teaching people the basic legal knowledge. We want Kenya to become lawyers, such that whenever you are doing something, you ask yourself, what does the law say? So people are doing some stuff. By the time you come to me as a lawyer, you go to court, the court cannot help you. But if you find that maybe you understand how succession is done, you are told your dad died, and you know how to go to court so that you can inherit that property. At times you go to some homes, they are told women don't inherit in our clan. So some women are supposed to be millionaires. Maybe the father was a multi-millionaire. He had property in Sorofa. So we find this property is just taken by the boys. So we are also looking about when you want, as a young man, if you want to buy land, what is the legal process of buying land? Or you are in your office, somebody come, maybe there are some young Gen Z who are having maybe some relationship with the girls. Or maybe even a girl maybe just like you, and you have not even slept with her. She comes and says that this is the father of my child. They get lawyers and simply because they know D has money. So you are harassed by the time you go for a DNA. So we are teaching basically your knowledge. If a young man like you want to register a business name, we tell you how you can do that. You want to register a limited liability company. Maybe you want to register your patent. There's something you have discovered, the intellectual property rights. Maybe you want to register a circle, a partnership. All these things like we also things like alternative dispute mechanism. That when you have a case, you do not have to go to court. That you can have it can be resolved through alternative dispute mechanism. So we are doing all this, man. Right now we are headed to the polls in the next 1 year and probably 11 months. We've been post civic education. Do you know the work of our MCA, so that when they're electing the MC, you know when David comes and Onyago comes and Kiprotich, you need to understand what is the work of MCA, so that when you give David that job, because you understand. He can come and say that he wants to become a partner where MP, because what you are talking about is the work of MP. So we need to understand the work of member of parliament, the work of women rep, the work of senator, the governor, even the president himself. I've mentioned many times that at independence, In 70s, Kenya was competing with what we call Asian tigers.
Yeah.
Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, South Korea. So where did they start beating us? So the issue of number one, civic education. Number two, electing some people who are, some of them semi-literate, some people who are corrupt, people without integrity, the other people we are giving the spaces. Then the issue is economic empowerment, and that's what we are doing with that TV and IPS. But to see how young people can put money in their pocket so that they are not bought. Because you can imagine a young man who has not seen 1,000 bob maybe for a whole year. So if I'm fine and I come and give him 1,000 bob, I become his or her god. So we also try to look about holistic economic empowerment, and we're encouraging the national government, the county governments, the churches, the good. You have seen now like the young people, they are time bomb in this country. You know, and these people, and this Gen Z, they are great people. The only issue they are saying that we need opportunities. When you see the debt, I don't know whether you saw the report from the Auditor General saying that we are losing a third of the budget. So when we had this year, when we had a budget of 4.3 trillion, you can be assured 1.1 trillion is stolen. You had the whole saying when I was the president that we are losing 2 billion per day. The same case has been mentioned by Buddy, the current CS Treasury. It's a lot of debt. So these people who are in power, they are stealing Gen Z's life. So they are saying, excuse me, now they are trying to imagine how they are going to grow up, how they are going to have families, this kind of economy. They want to see their grandchildren. So for me, and I was one among the lawyers who are defending Gen Z's, they're asking the fundamental question there. But that's also the bigger question. We are encouraging them to get opportunities like now farming, to put money in the pocket. When they put the money in the pocket, they'll be able even to sustain the protest. Because some of them at times they go for the protest, they do not even have a meal to. So these are some of the things which we are doing, and we hope that we want to see in the next 5 years that we have a presence in half of the counties. In the next decade, we want to be in all the 47 counties. Of course, it's a challenge because Kenyans do not believe because we are not working with donor funding, we are just getting resources from members. So at times it's a challenge. Kenyans do not believe in giving back to the community. So when you tell them to volunteer, so these are some of the challenges we have, but we believe with the resilience, the sky is the limit.
Kabla tufike kwa challenges wa Kilimboro. So in a nutshell, some of the things that IPS does, umesema holistic education to people, especially young children. Ukasema you do model farms. Ukasema about environmental conservation, in energy, economic empowerment,
and there's a value addition
and value addition. Those are some of the main things. Najua tutapata muda, tutaingia, we'll dig a bit deeper and to know more about that. Now, and before we continue, I know you're wondering, today we are doing it outdoors. We are here at Mugathe Gardens Resort. This is in Kamulu, and you can see we have a very good swimming pool.
And you tell them Kamulu, Nairobi County. There are so many Tumulus.
Yeah. We are still in Nairobi. So when you are along Kangundo Road, you are right at Kingori stage, and then you go to your left. Kuna njia imeingia mpaka Mugathe Gardens Resort. So it's a good place to come and chill, swim. Sijui kama wakili na Bwana Devi wataswim. We must swim. Yeah, there's some good food here. Kuna nyama choma. So feel very, very welcome. So we are here courtesy of Mugathe Gardens Resort. So Bwana David, umesema you finished school around 2017. I think we are more or less the plus age mates. So what inspired you kufanya afra? Because mimi kama you, there are so many other things you want to do. I think bado tuko kwa hiyo bracket ya Gen Zs. Minini na naona sahi Gen Zs recently wamekuwa in the streets wakili. Na wakili anasema amekuwa akiwatetea just the other. Hili ni kufanya ukaingia ama umelelewa kwa shamba?
So for me, kulima nikiwa mdogo tu, nikiwa myang. Pale Nakuru, pale Lakeview, mtaa yangu. Sikuwa napenda chuo sana. So nilikuwa napenda kuhasa. Either kokota mandela, ama chuma, ama plastic. Lakini kuna wase walikuwa na some small portion next to the national park. Na walikuwa wazae wa mama wazee wanalima. So I used to go and help them kufanya hiyo farming. Wananilipa. I was a student that time, so that was like a child labor to me. And nikaendelea hivyo, nikaacha kusoma juu nishazoea do na nimezoea kulimia watu. So in 2008 nikafukuzwa shule because nimekuwa nikimiss classes because of kufanya kazi na kuokota machuma. And after that ukulima ishaniingia tayari, nalimia watu, naona venye wanaingiza tudo kwa shule za hizo primary. Kufukuzwa shule 2008, I stayed home 2 years nikilimia watu, and then 2008 nikakuwa home, 2009 nikakuwa home. So 2009 that time nikajirealize, nikarudi class 7 so that mabesti wangu already wako form 2, wale niliacha class 8 to 8 wanaenda form 2 form 3. So kurudi shule 2009 that time nikasoma 2010, nikamanda 2010 class 8 again, nikaka home for 3 years. Nilikuwa nishazoea do kazi mingi, kaendelea kulimia watu until nikapata ka portion hapo next na park, na nikaingia kwa kulima hivyo.
Bado na
Nakuru ngarudi 2013 ndo nilianza form 1. Imagine complete 2010 class 8, 2013 nikaanza form 1. Nakuja na hiyo ni Nairobi sasa. Nimetoka Nakuru, na Nakuru nilitoka juu ya kitu moja. I was a bad guy. Kuna ile group fire, confirm gang, wale walikuwa wanafanya reversal kwa simu zako, wanakupigia simu mpaka wamake sure wametoa do kwa account yako. So I was like a young leader that time, missing ngeambiwa kitu na wale
madoja wangu ya high school.
Yeah. So good, wazee wa kijiji wakaniongelesha sana. You enda mahali usome, but not in this environment. I changed environment, I came to Nairobi. That is in 2011. Nairobi, aunti yangu alikuwa na kashamba. Bado sijajoin shule 2011. Nilikuwa namsaidia kulima pale for 2 years. 2011, 2012, 2013 ndo nikajoin form 1. After joining form 1 2013, my mom died around August, mwezi wa 8 2013 nikiwa form 1. My bro na mbada class 8. Brother yangu during the ceremony ya burial akapata scholarship Murang'a. Murang'a hakuna stima, maji ni kwa mto. You can imagine the life.
Yeah.
Shule iko like 5 kilometers, si kama Nakuru unaenda 500 meters umefika kwa shule. So yeye aliona hawezi soma huko. Sema yaka drop. My bro dropped school hata kuanza class.
Bro,
my younger brother last born, after ameona shule iko mbali na pia lifestyle ya pale. Mimi niko Nairobi form 1 naenda form 2 next year. So I decided to take that opportunity. Ashalipiwa school fees kuanzia form 1 mpaka form 4 na amekataa. So ile do ilikuwa either ipotee ama mimi nitoke Nairobi nikasome. So I decided to take that opportunity, nikajipata Murang'a. Na nishaifika Murang'a 2011, nikasema mimi siwezi ishi life kama hii. The place nilikuwa nimesema siwezi ishi, I found myself that area. In that area because milima zilikuwa steep. Hata brother wangu akikataa. They had some reason. But for me, juu nimezoea life ngumu, hiyo ya kuhaso hiyo kwanza ile ya primary na kulimia watu, najipata Murang'a. I said it's just for 3 years. In form 2, form 3 na form 4 nimalize. I just found myself there. Nikajipata kwa ukulima hiyo design. Though sikuwa mkulima, sikuwa na knowledge ya ukulima ama ile watu wa huko wenye nasikia ukulima, hiyo lesson agriculture ilikuwa tu ni wa shamba. Mimi nimetoka Tao. So sikufanya ukulima, I did business. But during practical times, because practical agriculture zilikuwa zinaanza early around March.
Yeah.
So mabeste wangu nilikuwa nawasaidia sana wale wakubwa since 2014, 2015 and 2016 nimekuwa nikisaidia wale ma seniors. Kuna wale walikuwa form 4 wanafanya practical, watu kwa shamba, nilikuwa form 2 na nawasaidia jioni. So that's how I came to interact with agriculture, and after high school nikajipata mimi hiyo ndio kitu nimependa sana. Na after high school nilikuwa nafanya mjengo, ukulima, everything. But in 2021 I got a scholarship at Lati Agripreneur Institute kwa Kajiado, and they were supporting vulnerable people in the community. I was one of them, and since I was an orphan, I think that's why I got an opportunity. And nikaenda pale, I did a short course. It was like a 1-year course, 6 months in school, 3 months in attachment. So that's almost 1 year. And I graduated and I got my certificate on horticulture production. And when I hold that certificate, that was my get fast. I stopped doing other things and then I focused with agriculture. Up to now, I'm doing more research in the agriculture sector, from production, seedling production, to consumption, marketing, and also how the people, the taste of the people, the entire value chain of agriculture. I'm doing research and I want to understand what is missing, what's the challenges, even at the household level, from the farm to the household level. So this research I'm doing with a lot of people. I have stakeholders. One of them is JKUAT, KU. I say JKUAT because when you go to MBURU primary, when I entered MBURU, tumekuwa tukifanya kazi na watoi na walimu. Tumepanda miti za matunda huko with the support of IPS and other stakeholders at the school. Tumepanda mandizi, JKUAT walitupea mandizi mingi sana. Tissue culture bananas. Saizi watoto wetu pale umoja MBURU primary hawakosi. The same at Umoja 1 primary and Kariobangi primary, Kariobangi North primary. We have been doing a lot of planting of fruits and also at other private schools or mashinani.
So utatuambia about all of that and it's what a story. Sometimes professor, it's sometimes God takes you to where you are avoiding, and I think he wants you to grow. Yeah, unaona professor wakili pole na kuita professor ni kama utakuwa professor hapo single. Unaongea mambo ya economic empowerment. Unaona bwana David alianza alikuwa economically empowered before hata join high school. Yeah, so tuambie wakili, wewe ni mtu you're a person who in the media who people know, let me use the word famous, you have your own education, a full lawyer na uko na, and you seem to have a good life and things are good. Why have this interest? Why to help people, to bring transformation, to bring all of these things that you're talking zenye IPS inafanya? Why have this passion ya kusaidia watu? Why don't you just sit in your comfort zone? So ona uanzishe IPS.
Wow, what a question. I think when God created us, He wanted us to do just two things. Number one, to serve Him, and number two, to serve the fellow human being. And Mr. D, even now living, I don't know how old you are. All of us, we need to pay rent for living this world.
Yeah.
So how do you pay your rent? So you can only thank God by helping the less privileged, by ensuring that you are giving back to the community. So, and unfortunately in Africa, we are not very good in giving back to the community. If you went to Europe, you go to US and part of Asia, people, even when they are writing a will, they say this amount of money I want to give back to the community. Maybe you are a woman, want to give it to the women in Africa, you to the third world countries. So for me, it's more or less, you can call it a calling of giving back to the community, but it is in my DNA. And if I'm not working for the community at times, I just feel it's like I feel my purpose is to give back to the community and encouraging people to give back to the community. Because again, nobody we know ask God to be the spaces which they are in. Even when you see some of these street children, at times you may think some of them are running away from home because of being irresponsible, but some of them they are having a lot of challenges. Some of them are being drawn away by the families. When the parents die, the relatives, because they want to grab the yard. And I have done a lot of these cases. So we are talking about number one, I feel that I need to have a legacy. There was once I traveled to US and I found a university in Wagalimandai, Professor Wagalimandai. And my question was, would one want to live in this world like you never lived, that you have not left a legacy? You have said that I have gone to school, I am now doing my second master's in environment.
Yeah.
And this is by grace of God. I happen to come from a very humble background. And when I look about my history academically, even where I see God, I see a lot of God's intervention. And it's not that I shook God's hand to be. When I was I've been traveling this academic journey, I met very brilliant young people even who are brighter than me by far. Some of them were showing us mathematics. At times I find some of them became drunkards, others dropped in from school. I met one from my world, he's a Baba, and he was the guy who was helping us even write a composition with the guy we were consulting. So when you sit back, some have taken drugs, they have wasted their lives. Some more, we have already buried them. So when I look, because I travel a bit far through Rotary and the work which I do, I just see God, and I believe that the only way we can repay our Creator is being proactive by helping the community and sharing the ideas. Because again, what is idea if you are not sharing? there are people who are very jealous or what, they feel that once you share an idea, people are going to steal your ideas. I've shared with ideas with the people, and the people have started there. Somebody said, this is what you told this group. Me, when I share my ideas with people and I see that they have actually succeeded, I celebrate them, because ideas is to be shared. Because I was given these ideas. So for me, working with the community basically is in my DNA, and I call people goodwill. Let's give back to the community. And God gives us the little which we have. If you cannot, during my what used to happen, if there's a bill which they could take and share, you do not eat it alone, and we may partner, because and we need to start teaching even our children, the community, the importance of giving back to the community. And some of the countries which are doing very well are the countries which are very proactive in giving back to the community. Because as I mentioned when we were starting here, we cannot leave everything to the government. At times we assume the government knows. Most of the government, they follow people, what they are doing. Right now, the farm which we have, IPS model farm in Kantafu, just a few kilometers from here. Right now, we are in Ukapani in Machakos County. For many years, we are told there is nothing good which can come Ukapani, you cannot do farming. We are telling, yes, you can farm in Ukapani. I was in Egypt, I've gone to Israel. Those countries, they are basically deserts. Israel is the second biggest producer of food in the world. So they have enough food for the country consumption and export market. Same case applies to Egypt. So I always ask myself, why is a great country like Kenya going to beg for food? When these Wazugus like Israel 25 years, we are begging for food, we wonder what is between our ears. Because they believe Kenya we should be exporting food, not the other way around. But as I was telling a group, we were visited by the cyclists who are from 5 countries. They have been cycling from Uganda, Burundi, DRC, Tanzania, Kenya. And I was telling them we need to take this gospel of food production very seriously. This country, when it rains, the rain is killing people, killing animals, destroying crops, destroying buildings like this, to go to the Indian Ocean to become salt water, or what we call useless water. After a few months, you need the people are dying because of hunger. At times, I believe when God looks at us, He wonders what kind of goats and sheep He created. Because we cannot pray for water. When it comes, we do not know what to do with it. I believe, and I've mentioned in many forums, the moment this country learns to do water harvesting, every drop, because that's what I found in Egypt, we will never, half of the problems will be sorted out. We wouldn't be going to Western capitals to beg for food. And Africans, we are intelligent. Like now, if you look about Africa as a continent, you have young population than any other continent in the world. We have reasonable, lanes. We have lanes. The soils are good. We have young people who are energetic. We have no reason of not becoming a superpower if you wanted. But of course, and this is something I'm very worried is about the quality of the leaders we elect. We elect people who do not care. You've got a guy whose name was in the Golden Bag report on agro-leasing report, Dungu report on land grabbing, NYS 1 and 2. These are the guys you elect when they come, because people, again, most of the Kenyans believe in being bribed for them to vote. So we have very good people, young people, people who can do very well in all the spaces of leadership. But people are going for crooks. These are the guys who are making decisions for us as a country. You can imagine if, let's say, Davy wanted to become an MP here. If he comes with money so that you elect him, the moment you put in parliament, the first business of the day is to recover his money and interest. So this guy will never listen to you because I bought my votes. Why the hell are you? So this is a culture we hope as a country we will be able to eliminate, so that you remember during COVID, people had money, could not even leave this country. This tells you we need to make our country a first world. The belief with God wanted to give Kenya as a first heaven before we go to the little heaven. But we cannot live for the Chinese, the Americans, the Europeans, the Indians to come and